In this video, we're going to take a look at Function.Call in JavaScript. Now, you may remember how an object and a method inside an object is defined in JavaScript. So let me show it to you. So let's say we have an object called person, which has a key called first name and the value John. It has a key called last name and value Doe. It has a method. So you know that a function inside an object is called as a method, right? It's called, and the function is called full name, and now we'll have to define the function. And inside the function we have return this dot first name plus some space this dot last name. Now you remember from one of the previous videos that this, when used inside an object or when used inside a function inside an object, is always going to refer to the values inside the object, right? Which means that first name here, this dot first name is basically John, and this dot last name is basically Doe, right? So if I say document.write person dot full name, which means I'm calling this full name function because I'm using these round brackets here. So if I run this, then I'll get in the output, I should get John Doe, right? So this is how you define a normal method and an object in JavaScript. Now let's start talking about how Function.Call works. So to start that off, I'll have to define an object called person. It will have only a method called full name. That is it. And inside that method, I want to return this dot first name plus some space and this dot last name. Then I'll have a function, an object called person1. Person1 will have a key called first name with value John and a key called last name with the value Doe. Then I can have another object called person2, and I'll have, in this also I'll have a key called first name with value as Mary and a key called last name with the value Doe again. Now if I say document.write person.full name .call person1. So let me first execute this and then take you through the entire code and show you what's happening. You again get John Doe. Now if you say person2, you should expect Mary Doe to be here, right? So you get Mary Doe, right? What's happening here is that with the help of Function.Call in JavaScript, you can have an owner object, which in this case is person. So person is an owner object. By owner object, I mean an object which has a method. And then you can have any other object like person1 and person2. And you can use the values inside person1 and person2 to call the owner object and the function or the method inside the owner object. So what we're doing here essentially is we're using person1, and we're using the value inside person1 like first name and last name, and we're calling person.full name, right? This function person.full name, and then we're calling that function with this person1 or person2, right? Both of these. So when we say this dot first name, it's going to actually refer to John. This dot last name going to refer to Doe. And in this case, when you pass person2, then this dot first name will be Mary and this dot last name will be Doe, right? So that's what you'll get here. Now the actual real world application of this is that you can define these kind of objects in your libraries and you can create npm packages, which we'll see in one of the feature videos, right? So basically, think of it as like a library that somebody has created, and then in your code you'll write something like this, and you don't need to know how these objects or how these methods have been created in those libraries, right? It's completely abstracted to you, and you can easily use those functions with your own objects, right? So that's what makes JavaScript so modular and so clean, because you can use so many libraries and you can use methods of so many libraries, right? So now I want to show you how the call method can work, but with arguments. So for the timing, I'm going to get rid of this, right? And here I'm going to say city and country, arguments basically, which in this function. And here after last name I want to say plus and comma plus city plus another comma plus country. Okay, and here we'll have person1 is equal to first name John and last name Doe. And here along with person1 we'll pass Oslo and Norway and close these. Just a second, there's seems to be some issue with JS Fiddle. So now when we run this, we'll see undefined Doe, Oslo and Norway. It says undefined because I have a spelling mistake here. It should be first name still there seems to be a problem. This dot first name, yes, sorry, first name, and it'll be John. Now if we run this, we'll get everything properly, John Doe and Oslo, Norway. So it's using first name and last name, as using these two arguments that have been passed as parameters into this function. So city and country will be Oslo and Norway, city and country, right? So this is how you can use the call function and also pass your own arguments into the function, right? So I hope that makes sense. And if you like this video, then do subscribe and do watch the rest of the videos also in this series. It will help you a lot. And thanks a lot for watching.